Hi, boys and girls. This is lesson 4, and you are going to need activity book page 4.2, a pencil, and your reader open to chapter 3. So, what we're going to be doing on activity book 4.2, we're going to take specific pages from this chapter and find the main idea and details from those pages. And then at the end, you are going to write the main idea of both of these sections. So let's go ahead and get started. Chapter 3, Mirrors and Reflections. Have you been to the dentist recently? Do you remember if he or she used a tool with a mirror to look at your teeth? Think for a minute about how useful that mirror is. Why does the dentist use it? This simple tool allows him or her to see the back of your teeth. He or she can also see teeth way in the back of your mouth. Without it, he or she couldn't do his or her job nearly as well. Ask to see this tool the next time you're at the dentist. So what is a mirror? A mirror has a smooth, shiny surface that reflects light. Light that is reflected bounces off of something in its path. You have already learned that light travels in a straight line, unless it runs into something in its way. If light hits a transparent object, it passes right through the object. If it hits an opaque object, the light is absorbed and blocked, so a shadow is made. If light hits a smooth, shiny surface like a mirror, it is reflected. So there you see the little dentist mirror so they can see the back of your teeth. Light reflected from the surface of this mirror allows the dentist to see the back of this person's teeth. So the mirror is reflecting the light. It's bouncing off of it. So here's where activity book 4.2 is going to come into play. Page 43 in your workbook. So what we're listening for on pages 30 and 31, we're listening for what the main idea is. And we are listening for details that tell us more about that main idea. Okay, so listen as I read and see if you can think what the main idea and some details might be. When a mirror is made, glass is coated with hot silvery metals and then cooled. This coating makes the mirror shiny so it reflects back all the light that hits it. Did you know that there are different types of mirrors? You probably use a plane mirror every morning when you get ready for school. A plane mirror has a more or less flat surface. The reflection of something in a plane mirror is almost the same size as the real object. So that's kind of like a regular mirror that we think about and that we use every day. This little girl is looking at her reflection in a plane mirror. So the main idea of pages 30 and 31 was simply talking about mirrors. Right? They're just talking about mirrors on that page. And the three key details is that a mirror is made of glass with silvery metal on the back. So a mirror is actually a piece of glass with metal behind it, and that is where the light is reflecting off of, because the glass is transparent. It goes right through there and bounces off of the metal. They talked about plane mirrors, not plain as in very boring and nothing going on, but a plane as in flat. It's like a shape. So plane mirrors are flat. And plane mirrors are the type that we have in our house that we look at ourselves in all the time. And then it tells us how it reflects things. Plane mirrors reflect objects at the same size. So when we look at ourselves in a plane mirror, in a mirror at home, we look the same size as we are normally. It doesn't change. We're going to find out about some mirrors that do change the way that looks. So I want you to pause the video and take a second to reread what we just wrote. Welcome back. We're going to continue reading. And you can turn your activity book page to page 42 to the back of page 4.2. There's not going to be anything to write for these pages. We're going to start again on page 34. So listen carefully. Plane mirrors are used in many tools. Cameras, telescopes, and microscopes sometimes use plane mirrors. Some toys even use plane mirrors. Have you ever looked through a toy called a kaleidoscope? And there's a picture of a kaleidoscope on page 33. A kaleidoscope is a tube with plane mirrors inside. There are also tiny bits of colored glass and beads sealed up inside the kaleidoscope. You look through a small hole at one end of the kaleidoscope and point it toward the light. As you rotate the tube, you will see beautiful colored patterns. So the bottom picture there is what you would see looking through the kaleidoscope, and you can usually turn the bottom and it changes designs. All right, now on page 34 and 35, we're going to be listening again for what the main idea is and some details. There are two other types of mirrors that are different from plane mirrors. Plane mirrors have flat surfaces, but concave and convex mirrors have curved surfaces. The smooth, shiny side of a concave mirror curves inward like a spoon, so it would be like the C part, inside of a C. The smooth, shiny side of a convex mirror curves outward, so that would be the outside part of it. Here's another way that concave and convex mirrors are different from plane mirrors. Remember that in a plane mirror, the reflection of an object is about the same size as the object. In concave and convex mirrors, the reflection can look larger or smaller than the real object. So there we see at the top, we see a concave mirror, which is going outward, right? It goes inward, right? And it looks like it makes things appear larger. Convex mirror at the bottom left curves outward and it makes things look smaller. And then you have a picture of a plane mirror, so you can see all the different types of mirrors. So on pages 34 and 35, we learned about other types of mirrors. That's the main idea, other types of mirrors. The first one is concave mirror. And we should all know how to spell the word mirror by the time we're done. Curves inward. Like the side of the spoon that we eat off of. Convex mirror curves, that's an X there, sorry, curves outward, like the bottom side of a spoon or the outside part of a spoon. And then finally, objects reflected appear, because they're not really changing the size, but they appear either smaller or larger. If we go back to the picture here, on a concave mirror, things appear larger. So I'm just going to put that in parentheses so you remember. And a convex, things appear smaller. Okay? So you are going to finish copying this down, and you are going to answer the main idea of both texts is. So what's the big idea? If you had to tell somebody one thing about these pages that you just read, what is it? Be specific, okay? You might need to use more than the space that they gave you here, all right? Let's finish reading this chapter. Concave and convex mirrors are also useful. Concave mirrors can be used to provide heat using the light from the sun. Remember that sunlight is a form of light and heat energy. The large concave mirror in the image on the next page reflects the sun's energy so that people can warm their hands or bodies outside. So the top picture. Interesting. What about convex mirrors? The next time you get on a bus, take a look at the mirrors on the sides of the bus or your parents' car. Most buses and large trucks have a small extra convex mirror on the side view plane mirror. The convex mirror makes objects look smaller but shows a wider area so you can see more. It helps drivers avoid hitting something they might not see in the regular plane mirror. So there are the two different types of mirrors and how they can help. So now you see how useful mirrors are in our everyday lives. Mirrors can also be a lot of fun. A circus or carnival sometimes has a place called the Fun House or House of Mirrors. If you go in, there are lots of concave and convex mirrors. When you look in these mirrors, you might not recognize yourself. Your reflection is distorted. It's changed. What makes that happen? Now you know. It's concave and convex mirrors. Have you ever been in one of those fun houses? Oh, they are scary to me. I can never find my way out. So there you can see one of the types of mirrors that you might find in a fun house. All right, boys and girls, you will be submitting the front and back of 4.2 and make sure that you have filled in the main idea from both of those pages that we read.